A blessed day, viewers and subscribers. Welcome back to the boss with another video. Put a like and leave a comment on the video. Alright, so the lady reached out to me. She say she in a one position right now where she a plan for left for her baby father. Then there for 20 years. She a big woman. And she decided to turn Christian. But she said she don't want to have no sex with him again because she don't want in her church and have sex with him. And when she tell him if he married her, make them just live a good life and because she a go church. He refused to. He said he don't want to marry her. You think that right in her comment? Because right now she changed her life and it is so messed up, guys. It messed up her way. It's a tricky situation, but make sure you explain it all to ladies. Me know anything in her comment. What you know that do? If you don't have a man for 20 years, and you gone in a church, you know that still a grind him? Or you know that just stop, surrender on life to God fully, and if him no want come, you know move out or make him go on. You know that mash up on the 20-year relationship and share 3 lovely kids? May I talk too much? Make we drive and listen. Like and comment.
Good afternoon, MIXUP boss. I'm not going to give my real name. My name is Pamela, and I have a situation that I would like to bring forth to your audience based on my experience with a situation that I'm currently going through. And I want to ask your audience what you think I should do. Alright, so it started like this. When I moved to the US, it was like 25 years ago. Alright, so I'm in my late 50s, so me and my boyfriend, yes, I know it's on a way if it's a boyfriend, at my age I should have been married and talk about husband. But what happened now, my boyfriend, he went to America, his mom filed for him, and we were dating back in Jamaica and him filing came true, so he went to the state. Alright, so after everything, teary done, you know, him put in paperwork and me the kids them, yeah, the kids them go up and me get a visa so me could have visit and stuff. So alright, so I was comfortable being his girlfriend for the last 20 years. Yeah? And share three lovely boys. Alright, so you know, you go through life and experience ups and downs, and but no matter what, we're still there. One thing I can say about him, he was always there for his kids, no matter the circumstances. Yeah, man, he's always there. He's a good father, good father. But he's a man. He love to party and love to go out. From him young, he still go in session them, him and him friend them hung out, etc. But for the past year now, I decided that, you know what, nothing is out there. And since nothing is out there, I should just give my life to the Lord. Alright, so I have this church that my friend invite me to, and I went to the church and when I realized something come over me, mix up bass, and the preacher was preaching so well and well put together. It's like he was preaching my life in front the congregation. And I said to myself, you know what? I'm going to baptize and give myself to the Lord. Yeah, fast forward now. Get myself baptized in a church. Trust me, God have been so good to me. You know, I am blessed. I'm in a good job. I have all of these things before me baptize, but I said to myself, so baptize, surrender my life to God should be my next choice in life, God. You know, we're getting at age and you don't want to be late than sorry. You understand? Yes, so it's alright then. I'm now in my church, but the problem that I have now, my boyfriend, we live together. We buy our house together. We live together. The kids them gone to college. And so basically I just me and him and sometime in brother we stopped by our family visit from Jamaica. But the problem I have now, I said to him, say, Carl, if you have to block out him name, cause I'm just a member. Alright? I said to him, say, Carl, why don't you think of me as a wife material? I've been dating for 20 years, and I'm saying to myself, why you'd never propose to me and never ask me what when we think about this, so we think about that. We have everything together. We're happy. Yeah, then. So me in my church no mix up boss. I said to him, Imi go out and guy in the party come in. When man Anna den liquor den want liquor. Sex. So I said to him that I can't be going to church and doing things that the law don't permitted me to do and have the right way to do it. So I said, why don't you get married and come in the church with me? Car not no out there, not no out there, for a big man. Alright, so me in my 50s and my husband, I keep it. I used to this husband thing. My boyfriend is 6 to 1. You when me say party, me not attack young people partying, going look a session them. All it's son all and look a thing down him playing domino. He unwatered him friend them and things are. That is his enjoyment after work. Not every night, only upon weekends or. But me no, me go church sometime 2-3 times a week. You understand? But I'm fully committed and I'm not turning back. I surrender to God. I'm going to continue praise my righteous Father. You understand? I'm going to keep on praise His name. I'm going to keep on praising them. I'm going to spread the gospel. So, what happened now is like I'm in split mind. Sometimes the devil tempt me say yes. When he asks for sex, me wants to give him. And next time I have to stand up strong. I said to him, say, why don't just come in the church with me and surrender your life. And I said to him that, listen, Ethan, I'm not going to sleep with you and knowing that I'm going to my church. So, what I think about this situation, should I leave him? I will read the comments and hear what your audience says. Should I leave him? No. At 6 to 1, if I leave him, it's not a certainty that I will get a husband in the kingdom of God. What should I do? What do you think? I know what I'm going to do. I'm not going to have any sex with him. Yes, I know people say, oh, you're there with him for 20 years and him cheat or go to the kids, but I'm now a born again child of God. And I don't think it's fair to be in my church and having sex with my boyfriend of 20 years. So him vex one night time he move out and stuff and he say if him can't get it from me, him I will get it somewhere else. So that now trigger me off and me I say, oh, so that mean something we had a long time. If you not love me enough to propose to me. I even give him an ultimatum and I said, listen, just married me. It's 20 years. We're have kids together. And you claim say you love me 20 years. You live with me. I ain't never go by any propose or say, yeah, met my married a woman and she's been so faithful. You understand? The man I'll go out. Me never once said a part and go out. A relationship and he might as well get a next child. And I look past that and can tonight because you know one go spoil up your family because you know the kids them used to him and such forth. So I stay with him just because of the kids. But I've been born again. I'm a Christian 1 year now. And I would like your honest feedback from your audience. Am I doing something wrong in your guys' eyes, your audience, or I should just let him have his way, keep on being happy? I am happy with him, he's a good man. But now that I surrender, I would like him to be my husband. And when I Christian, I cannot play dolly, else we've got you mash it up. Okay? So, that is I wouldn't say it's a story because we are still together. And I am happy, but I'm not happy with him right now. We sleep in separate bedroom. I take the kids them room and him take that one and him one with himself and him go on and him say me and my God a fool. Him not married no woman for that and one Baba son. So I don't know, it's very confusing, but you know what? My salvation come first. Anyway, mix up boss. It did a good job. And I hope one day I can come and tell you a better story or a different story. But I just asking you this situation, what do you think? What do you think? And let your audience know. Alright, so just change up my voice and let me know what you guys think. Alright, big up yourself. And I will read the comments. Okay. Bye.
Enough woman out there, them say them a serve God and them a real Christian and them born again and them still asleep around with man. If enough woman for honest and come out, you'd be surprised. A lot of women right now going to church, praising the Lord and still out there. I give them body to who they want to give them body. This lady, she want to go upon the straight path and she want to live righteous. And don't want to depend the good part. She don't want to depend she don't want 1 foot in, 1 foot out. I understand the situation now. Our boyfriend I feel away. Because I say, I with a woman every 20 years as a baby father. And now she in a church, she forced to be married. This is the thing with Christianity, you know. It's when you choose Christianity, you have to make sure you're ready to put everything behind, no matter what. You understand? It is a sticky situation. I can't tell yourself if your man where you dead for 20 years. Me ask the ladies them on the show. One would I do? Would I give up on a man? Eh? Or one that just get rid of him, surrender, right through and just serve on God and knows how you go. Because I have no plan for change. Put it in a comment. Everybody have them opinion. And remember, if you don't have no story when you want to share, you know, 8762773254. Alright, so I'm move on to the next story. Zane, I know we're not the one story. I double phone the money when I get. Some story I got sound lively, some I got sound boring, but just listen to the story of them. If I even listen to them to the end and put on a twist on it and Ray. You understand? So the story, you know, a guy reach out to me and him say, him have a little story he want to share and him also put it in a book. So he want hear what the audience have to say about this situation. Make you listen.
People, I'm asking this question. Did God pre-plan my life? You be the judge. This is my story of being a victim of envy and senseless gun violence. My mother told me that 3 months after I was born, she got pregnant and I got sick. And there were so many times she believed I died in her arms. And I come right back and they called me Competania, meaning come to stay here. Because my mother didn't want my brother Pepe and I to take the part of our older brother that was the leader of one of the first 2 gangs in Montego Bay, the Tiber Tribe Gang of Canterbury. She has both of us engaged before and after school, caring for our grandfather, hogs and goats. Then shortly we have our own. After graduated from Montego Bay Senior School, I was going with one of my schoolmates. And one day she gave me $20 US. And on the way to the store, I met Lloyd Campbell, aka Spider. He asked me where I was going. I told her where I was going and who gave me the money. And he followed me to the store. I gave Spider something from the change. Then a while after, my girlfriend told me that Spider is monitoring my movement. He always showed up either before I came or after I left. And then one evening, while I was on my way to my girlfriend, I saw a Spider coming from her direction. And after I told him I don't appreciate him pestering my girl, I didn't get any more complaints and didn't have the slightest idea that Spider would become a thorn in my life for years to come. I was learning to be a mechanic and my brother Pepe was learning to do body work on cars. It would be a good team if we did have the money to own a shop of our own. Taking our own needs to consideration, We used money saved from our small farming and went to Kingston and started to buy and sell the best sterling and wool suiting materials. It was a blessing that our mother was a dressmaker. We buy shirt materials for all the males and the dress materials for all the females of our household. Guys love our shirts and want shirts like ours. We then buy shirt materials, sell the guys, and our mother make their shirts. We now become the talk of the town. Our older brother went to jail on some gang-related charges, and my brother Pepe, 18, and I, 19, went to Kingston with the little money our mother has, and after paying Liacon that large sum of money, thinking on all the materials and the profit we could have made, let me realize that gang leader is like the character in the story, Don Quixote, who reads so many chivalric stories, become crazy and attack windmill he believes is invaders. I was the one that was sleeping under a clothes hanger that was hanging over the bed. Suddenly, at night, I noticed three Indian-looking faces looking at me, looking at me, smiling. and, uh, and I got sick. Because I was on the road 7 days per week. On Mondays, I used to go to Kingston and buy my suiting materials, shirt materials, Irish moss, and plastic materials for windows and table cover. Tuesday to Saturday, I was on the road selling my suiting materials, shirt materials, and Irish moss drink. And Sundays, I would travel throughout Canterbury selling my plastic materials. My mother idea was on the road 7 days per week. My nerves was bad. And I would always questioning myself. We grow up consuming all organic food, cow's milk, goat milk, and a Irish moss and turtle egg drink most middays and nights. So all my nerves could be bad. Of all the doctors I was going to, things were getting worse. Didn't have the energy for the road. My mother packed my clothes in a bag and sent me to go live with my loving Aunt May in Endon, Glenavon. The house was a board house, and at nights it always seemed as if someone is walking in the house. Then one night, one of my brothers slept with me. In the morning, there were about 2 handfuls of red dirt in the bed. Feeling weaker, I went to Dr. Sivison, our family doctor. After he examined me, he rested one hand on my shoulder and looking over his glasses through the window while saying, when I was studying to be a doctor, at nights I used to study from a bottle lamp. And as soon as I become a doctor, I would preoccupied going about my business, and someone on the side would be touching the other, pointing at me and saying, look at him. As he become a doctor, him act as if he doesn't know us. Dr. Stevenson then looked at me and said, the only way you can survive is if you leave the country. If I did have the money, I would give Isis, meaning my mother, to send you to England. I went home, told my mother. Then a couple of days after, my father said to me, you must get ready Saturday morning. A friend of mine is coming to pick us up. Saturday morning, my father's friend came and picked us up. On the way, the driver pulls up at a supermarket. My father went in and came back with a flask of rum. When we reached the destination, it was a one-room board structure. As we went in, my father handed the man the bottle, the flask of rum. The man drinks some of the rum, then flash the rum in the four corners of the room. And as he calls upon his spirits, surprisingly, sounds of insects squeaking from the four corners of the room answering him. The man then placed a white candle and an inch measure under my shirt up to my neck and called upon his spirits. Again, to my surprise, when the man takes out the candle, it was bent, and he said, I am lucky. If the candle did bend closer, I could not survive. The man gave me something to drink, and within the minute, it seems as if all the energy that I have lost over the period, I was sick, restored. After we leave, before we reach the main road, I felt like I could move mountain. My question is, what have I done why somebody would try to use demon to kill me? One day my loving Aunt May said to me, I notice you are not doing anything, and put £7 in my hand and said, I hope this can help you. I didn't remember about my hogs and pigs that were roaming the gully for food. I sold the last goat I had for £8 and bought a kid for £4 and went back to business with £11. It was all good. My hogs and pigs that were roaming the gully for feeding finally become my backup. Within a while, I was fully back on the road, 7 days per week. Spider now became the leader of a gang called the Lane Gang based on Rayleigh Lane and was at war with Arbin McBean, aka Fister, based on Rayleigh Lane since sometime in 1965. I was born in Albion Lane and didn't know that guys from Albion Lane, King Street, Canterbury, North Gully, Orange Street, that whole region was called Gully Men, and they used to dress better than guys from Rayleigh Lane that they call Lane Man. And on dance nights, while girls from Rayleigh Lane will dance with Gully Men, girls from Gully were not dancing with Lane Men, and it always caused a fight. I now become the talk of the town, supplying the best materials and wearing the best materials. At age 19, of all the ladies in Montego Bay, I ran into a beautiful young miss from Rayleigh Lane, Spider Territory. She wasn't settling down type, and I moved on. Again, of all the beautiful ladies in Montego Bay, I ran into another young miss, Liney Appleton from Rayleigh Lane. That hit me like a bomb. The first time she shared her gold, diamond, and pearl with me, she got pregnant. When she was crying, saying she don't know what she was going to tell her mother, I went to her mother, introduced myself, and told her Line is pregnant, and I'm here to let you know. I understand that her pregnancy is my responsibility. I will never forget. While her mother was there smiling, I was there sweating. Until this day, I can't figure out why we didn't stay in the clothes business. My mother did have one of those hand singer machines. The shirt business was growing. My brother Pepe and I bought her mother a foot-operated singer machine. We then bought her an electric-operated machine. The arms of Montego Bay were open for us. Having our own name brand shirts and having a store downtown would be the ideal thing for us. Pepe bought a nice house in Flank and rented it. I built a dance hall, the hometown lawn in North Gully. Didn't understand that Spider was just waiting for the moment. It's like I ignite the Gully and the Lane Man saga. On dance night, Spider and his entourage always stage fight at my dance, and I had to close. I went against my mother's advice and built another dance hall in Green Pond. And Pepe buys 2 sunfish sailboats and has them on the Sunset Beach, taking tourists and rides for a price. My dance hall was short-lived. Because of the same stage fights, I had to close. 1969, Spider and Fister were still at war. I refurbished my dance hall and operated a grocery store. One evening I was in my store when one of Spider Goon's, Tony Johnson, aka Babu, shot after me with a shotgun. By the mercy of God, I escaped unhurt. And after I ran, the gang mercilessly pelted my store with stone and batters. 1970, at age 23, my wife and I have our 3-year-old son, our 2-year-old daughter, and pregnant with our second son, when Spider Gone Babu ambushed me and the last of 5 shots shattered my right leg. Tired of this bad man business, while in the hospital, I was thinking on joining the police force, and I was going to learn to shoot through a needle's eye, and I was going to arm with 6 guns and hunt and shoot gunmen. After the amputation of my leg, as the doctors say I need blood, a truckload of men traveled from Montego Bay and lined up at the University Hospital in Kingston and donated blood for me. And while there, men were always there in case of another attack. Although it's over 100 miles from Montego Bay to Kingston, I was never short of visitors that brought me the best fruits that I could always share in the hospital. One of my friend's girlfriend mother, Miss Ida, lives in Kingston. God bless her soul. Daily, she sent me cow foot and pigeon soup. Questioning myself, why me? Who am I? A week or so before I was discharged from the hospital, Dr. Boss said to me, Mr. Hill, there were so many times we thought you were gone and you are still here with us. On a doctor's point of view, all I can say is it's either the strong will you have to live or God why you are here with us. Again, I ask myself, who am I? What is my purpose? After I went home, the word in the communities was, I did not deserve to be shot. And guys armed themselves, fighting alongside the Beatniks gang, fighting the Lane gang. Again, I ask myself, why me? Who am I? Because of the war, my brother lost his house in Flanker and his sailboats. My business closed. Can't function as before. Survival then land me in the illegal world. The war going on, guys looking to me as a gang leader. Didn't want to be another Don Quixote. My idea was all I need was a soundproof shooting range and facility to house my well-trained 12-man dead squad, the Devil's Disciple. While trying to raise the money, after losing 2,000 pounds of weed, I realized my idea was only a higher standard of madness. Then after several failed peace meetings, as soon as the late Honorable Mr. Michael Manley won election sometime in 1972, although Mr. Sessuchuk, a pillar of Montego Bay, brings about peace of the 7-year war in Montego Bay, dubbed Mobay Tribal War, it continues in Nassau, Bahamas, and some major states in America, where on a weekly basis, mothers was receiving their sons' bodies in coffins. Sometime in 1990, it was like I were on a losing spree. I lost my last $3,000 of my business money, leaving me with $400. I sit down in my daughter's house in America, thinking, asking myself, what am I going to do? What can I do with only $400 in my pocket? A little man reaches me at my waistline, approached me and said, you have a lot to do. I said to him, what the F can I do with $400? The little man said, a lot. I said, what the F you talking about? The man said, there is so much in you to put on paper. The time is now for you to sit on your butt and pour out all in you on paper, then vanish. Although I didn't know anything about writing, I went and bought paper and pencil. It was like I was on an expedition tour, writing a 360-page story titled One Jamaican Posse. I then bought a book on how to write screenplays, learned to use a computer, and then formatted my screenplay. One night, thinking I now didn't have an income, I could not sleep. I went downstairs, and as I turned on the TV, there was Jack Valentini, the president of the motion picture, lecturing to some college student. One young miss asked Mr. Valentini, "How does you go about decision making?" Mr. Valentini paused for a while, then touched his belly button here and said, "Anytime the elf he reaches me at my belly button approach me, I never make a wrong decision." I smiled and said to myself, maybe that was the same elf sent me to writing. Another night, thinking and giving up writing, I could not sleep. To calm down my mind, I went downstairs. As I turned on the TV, there was the father of Pastor Joel, Joel Osteen, Pastor John Osteen, telling me, "Never you give up on your dream." I followed his advice and completed my first screenplay, One Jamaican Posse, that tells the story of a young man, Clive, wanted for a political murder. Take the advice from his mentor, Bootman, that when he reaches America, he must live against the ghetto mentality, violation of the poor by the poor. As he landed in America with the help of his weed dealer friend Pappy, they formed an alliance, development of the ghetto, and have the young men they sent for enroll in trade school. The rule was sell weed in the day and go to school at night. Sell weed at night and go to school in the day. I went ahead and wrote 5 more screenplays. Screenplay number 2 tells the story. Screenplay number 2, titled Vampire in Jamaica, is an awareness of the history of the White Witch of Rose Alma in Montego Bay, Jamaica. Screenplay number 3, Great Grandma Art, tells the story of 2 self-centered men in prison. Dupree, a young street-smart African-American who wants to prove to a Jamaican drug lord Quaker that he can be a better manager than he is, break his promise to his grandmother and goes against the odds of a turf war. As he gets out of prison, he robs some of Quaker street soldiers to finance the Miami connection Quaker gave him. Dupree's Afrocentric girlfriend, Lisa, pledges she will not be another single parent and denies Dupree the baby he desperately needed until he gets his life straight. Screenplay number 4, John Doe the Vampire, tells the story that even vampires is not immune to the AIDS virus. Screenplay number 5, 12 Little Men, tells the story of how Earth is so polluted that it was affecting another planet. And while men from 12 spaceships disarmed the world of their nuclear arms, all the other powers believe it was America disarming them. Screenplay number 6, Touch of a Crackhead, tells the story of how the power of love, hope, and faith overpower envy. My big time revenge is I utilize my years of experience of the gang war and the illegal world and wrote 2 books. Don't Touch It, It's Dangerous is to educate kids on guns, and Grandpa Say So is to educate kids on drugs. My therapy for my years of mental torture is a book of poems titled Stages of Life, which are all on Amazon. I wrote and recorded 2 songs, Violation of the Poor by the Poor and Jamaica Unite. I believe since I was born, God enrolled me in the University of the International Street. And I stayed on course and lived by what I learned as a nation. or neighbor will do everything in their power to stop you from prosper. At age 19, after paying Lawyer Khan that large sum of money, I learned that young life is a life of fantasy, something that make family poor. In the storybook Don Quixote, he was an educated man, read so many chivalric stories, become crazy and appoint Pancho, a man that could not read, to be his squire and promise him land. if he promise him land if he go with him on his adventure and attack windmill he believes invaders. In an article, Mobe Tribal War, published Monday, November 17, 2003, by Janet Silvera, a freelance writer, quote, Spider says his gang was nearly 2,000 strong. Spider was so great having that many men fighting for free. Can you imagine what Montego Bay would be like if he did utilize his greatness, having that many men doing something positive from 1965 to 1972? No. Over 15 years later, I believe there are over 200 gangs operated in Jamaica now. And while the island living under mental slavery, the judicial system, the lawyers, the morals, and the Obia people making money from youngsters. For over 50 years, young leaders robbed young men of their normal life, make them become subconscious pimps. A subconscious pimp is a person that is in jail or prison and expecting things from their mothers or girlfriends that they didn't provide. Young men end up with prison record and living with lifelong scars for no just cause. Girls were raped, robbed of their gold, diamond, and pearl that they were saving for Mr. Right. Women, either by intimidation or subconsciously going with bad men, having children and end up caring for the child or children by herself while the man is in prison or dead. Having that knowledge, knowing the fantasy life of gang war is now modern day slavery, Willie Lynch syndrome, which drive me to writing and having all these resources. I would like to give back. My greatest delight is to be financially capable of sponsoring a televised symposium. It will be an educational event. Survivors of Mobi Tribal War and other former gang members and present gang members will get the opportunity to relate their mistake and regret all that they have lost. And we can talk and laugh about ducking from gunshot during the longest gang war in Montego Bay. It will let young people understand that all the wars from then and now do is create poverty, mental slavery chained around our brain. My two main supports I need is people to get my writings to the right people and people in event planning. My books Don't Touch It Is Dangerous is designed to educate kids on guns. And the book Grandpa Says So is to educate children on drugs. They are all needed in the homes and schools. My therapy for my years of mental torture is a book of poems titled Stages of Life. Education is always the key in society. All three books are affordable, under $8. They're all on Amazon. I end with delivering a message to Spider in this poem titled Envy. I always thankful for the night darkness that I could have restful slumber. I am always thankful for the morning sunshine that people don't have to pay for. I was happy to overcome the poor condition that I grew up in. It was a blessing fulfilling my dream of being a pillar for my mother and my siblings, fulfilling my pledge for my family. Then came Mr. Envy, envied me for my girlfriend. The envy he developed was so strong, he conspired to have me killed. Did he have the slightest idea that the last of 5 shots fired by his assassin could only shatter my leg? Although saddened knowing I was not dead, I guess he was happy knowing my leg was amputated, saddened knowing I did not give him the opportunity to laugh, witnessing me begging for bread, disappointed knowing the 2-year war that followed did not break me as a pillar. He believed he was smart. I guess he was smiling. The battle I fought within, tearing apart my mind and body, the anger, the temptation, my moral and immorality at war. As survival, I landed in his world, illegal. He became complacent, short-sighted, didn't have the slightest idea that I could survive the physical and psychological war he created. He could not see that while I was in the legal world, I make it my university. Studies on the cancerous ghetto mentality. I am honored knowing men take up arms in my defense, yet saddened knowing it ever takes place. What is the status of your conscience, knowing you misled nearly 2,000 men, young men, plagued Montego Bay under the banner, Moby Tribal War from 1965 until 1972. People, I thank God for all he has done for me. Yes. My phone number is 240-722-2084. My email address is kenbu21@hotmail.com. Yes, my name is Carl Hale. My books are all on Amazon. Yeah, I need your support and please share my story. Thank you all in advance.
Anyway, guys, I don't have much to say. The story I sound like is a book. Sound like it's a poetry. Yeah? But this is it. We want stories over here, but we want stories where we can relate to and we can connect to. But everybody have a story. I'm a general big up yourself. Zane, regardless of some might say boring, some might say it lame, some might say this, some might say that. I don't know if they get the story or but that's how you go. Thanks for reach out to my channel. I appreciate everybody who take the time out to record a story and send it to me. Alright? Might not be everybody cup of tea, but it is what it is. Guys, big up on yourself. May I come live.